Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing the CBIC instruction on the decision of Westinghouse judgment. Westinghouse judgment created discussions in the entire automobile industry. So let us briefly understand what the judgment was all about. The judgment discussed the classification of relays, which was specifically meant for use in railways. The contending headings were 8536, which specifically covered railways, and 8608, which covered parts and accessories of railways. The court discussed Note 2, which excluded railway goods of Chapter 85 from parts and accessories of Section 17, which effectively covers Chapter 86 and 87. They also discussed Note 3, which stated that goods which are principally and solely for these chapters would be covered therein. In effect, the court held that the goods would be covered under 86, and they applied the predominant or sole principal use test. What they said was, if a product is designed solely and principally for use in a particular product, they would remain to be classified with that product and not elsewhere. Importantly, the Supreme Court did not discuss or analyze the three-layer test which has been provided in the HSN explanatory notes and which has time and again been discussed and accepted by other Supreme Court judges. Now, what this three-layer test is? The three-layer test states that the goods would be classified as parts and accessories of motor vehicles only if they satisfy these three conditions. The first is they must not be excluded by Note 2 to Section 17. So if, like we saw in the previous slide, if a particular product, Note 2 says these parts would not be covered under this chapter, so they would not be classified as part and accessories of motor vehicle. Second, they say, in addition to this, the second condition is that they must principally and solely be designed for use for those products. Now, if we see these HSN explanatory notes very clearly say that these conditions are to be satisfied cumulatively, whereas the Supreme Court emphasized on condition B and in essence overlooked condition A. A third test, which has been provided by HSN explanatory notes, is that they should not specifically be including elsewhere by nomenclature. So taking an example of seats, because they are specifically covered under Chapter 94, they are not to be covered as parts and accessories of motor vehicle, even though they are not excluded by Note 2 and they are principally meant for these vehicles. So these three conditions together form a three-layer test, which, as discussed, has been covered under HSN explanatory notes and has been also covered under several other rulings on this subject matter. Now, what does the instruction state on this Westinghouse ruling? Firstly, the instruction highlights that the ruling did not discuss the three-layer test and it was not placed before the Supreme Court. It says that the ruling is fact-specific and cannot be generalized. Then it says that it should be applicable only for relays and not for other goods of Chapter 87. Thirdly, it highlights an important point that the ruling was pronounced in the context of Central Excise Tariff Act of year 1994, and at that time, the Excise Tariff Act was not aligned with the Custom Tariff Act. Lastly, the instruction gives a direction to classify various parts of Section 17 as per the facts of the case, the individual case clause, and the jurisprudence on the issue. In so many words, the instruction has tried to distinguish or state that the ruling should not be applied to all the parts and other rulings on the subject matter, or let us say explanatory notes, should be given emphasis by classifying a product. What is our take on the subject? Our take on the subject is, firstly, if we see the ruling of Westinghouse was actually incorrect because it did not correctly interpret Note 2 and Note 3 together. Secondly, also it did not consider the HSN explanatory notes. Having said it, it is a three-member judgment and an instruction cannot overrule the Supreme Court judgment. So stricto sensu, the Supreme Court judgment would still hold water. Having said it, the instruction is beneficial for the automobile industry and it is expected to settle several disputes. So any possible dispute which the department might have raised relying on this judgment is expected to be toned down after this instruction. A third and a very important point on this is that there are several other rulings which have analyzed a product and stated whether they would be covered as part and accessories of motor vehicle and not otherwise. So in this context, the disputes for those products may continue. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos.